Hey Internet, my name is Kelly Weaver. I'm here to show you a little project I've been working on. Most people have the desire to want to be able to fly unassisted. We come as close as we can, building machines and whatever, but we're always sort of chasing that dream. And with two new developments in computer stuff, we are one step closer to, again, not actually having unassisted flight, but coming pretty close to approximating it. Those two developments are, of course, the Oculus Rift and the Razer Hydra. If you don't know what the Oculus Rift is, it is this guy. So he is basically a head-mounted display that does head tracking and gives you stereoscopic 3D vision, so you have a depth perception. When you put this guy on, basically it's like you're inside the game. You see here on my screen. It's a very convincing effect, and it's really, really good. And so knowing that this guy was coming out, I decided to sit down and make a sort of free-flying flight simulator, and that's what's going on right here.
So a lot of people will tell you that once you get your Rift, if you want to experience the sensation of flight, the best way to go about doing that is to hop into something like Team Fortress 2 and turn on no-clip mode. So let me do that really quickly. And once you do that, then you can start taking off and flying around. I don't have the Rift hooked up right now just so you can better see what's going on. But if you were, you would have a real sense of depth right here. You'd feel like you're flying. If you were to look down, you would definitely feel like you're pretty high up in the air. For whatever reason, I don't personally feel any sort of vertigo inside the Rift. I kind of wish I did, but I seem to be the odd man out on that. So this is actually very convincing. This is very, very good, but there are some problems and limitations with it. For number one, or for the primary thing, is you can only look up so far and you can only look down so far. So for instance, you look up and then you can only go, about that far. Look down, you can only do about that. And what that essentially means is that when you're trying to fly around, you're not going to be able to do any loop-de-loops. And let's be honest, when you're flying, you're going to want to do some loop-de-loops. Along the same thought process, you can't do any sort of barrel rolls either. There's no changing your roll. You're always going to be facing so that down is down and up is up. You're never going to be able to turn over onto your side and, do that sort of thing like you would if you were actually flying. I didn't find this acceptable. I wanted something a little bit better. So instead, I sat down with Unity and I made this. Now, I should go ahead and clarify that I didn't actually make this environment. The environment was made by a guy named Philip Schmidt. It looks really wonderful, and I figured it was a really good starting point for my little playground. But unlike Team Fortress 2, you can fly around in here, and then you can do barrel rolls. So you can roll left, you can roll right, and you can also do loop-de-loops. Now, again, I don't have the Rift on for this experience personally, but I will say, even though I don't really personally experience vertigo, doing a loop-de-loop in the Rift is pretty exhilarating. Once you come around like you did just then, I really feel my gut really kind of clench up. It's very, very exciting. And so I figured this was good enough right here. So I took the little project that I had, I posted it to the Meant to Be Seen forums, which is basically virtual reality forums. And one of the very first replies I got was simply to add the Hydra support to allow for Superman-like motions.
So what are the Razer Hydra? The Razer Hydra are these guys. Essentially, they're very sophisticated, very accurate motion controls for your PC. You can think of them sort of like as a Wiimote, except for way, way better. They don't have any of that bullshit waggle. They report their position and their rotation extremely accurately. I was actually very impressed working with these guys. So in my project here, instead of moving around with the joysticks, which you still can do, what you can do instead is if you want to fly forward, you just simply put your arms out ahead of you like you're Superman, sort of like this. And so if you want to change your pitch, you can move your arms up, you can move your arms down. You want to change your yaw, you can move your arms to the left or right. In fact, actually, let's see here. Let's try to fly through this door. And then furthermore, if you want to change your roll, you can just simply change that. The controls aren't quite as tight as I would like them to be. There's still a little bit of work to do on them, but this will give you a pretty good idea of what you can do with this. It's very, very impressive. So now, with these two things combined, both the Rift and the Hydra, you just simply slap both of these guys on, and you go off flying. So right now I'm getting like a really amazing view. It looks way better than how it looks on my screen. Way better in the sense that like it really feels like I'm actually in this thing. As I look around, it takes position with me. Sorry, I wasn't flying forward because I haven't taken off the ground yet. So I can walk around the ground here, or I can simply hit this button to begin flying, and off we go. And again, just simply move your arms around. It's like you're really flying. This is actually quite exhilarating. I was very impressed with how well this actually came together. When I was programming this and I had a lot of bugs and stuff, I was almost convinced that this wasn't going to work, but now you can do barrel rolls while looking around. So I'm flying by that castle over there while I look at it. I look down and I'm quite high up. And see if I can go fly underneath this bridge here. Whoop, okay. My controls aren't quite as accurate as they need to be yet. Still chugging away on them. But that gives you a basic idea of what's going on. So, can't see anything in this guy. So that gives you a basic idea of what's going on here. Hopefully I'll be able to release this at some point. I'm really hoping to. Let other people play around with it. I'll probably even release the source code so other people can fiddle with it themselves and try to make better adjustments to it. But until then, I hope you enjoyed what you saw here, and see you later.